You think you are in control of your life. You wake up every day, follow your routine, fulfill your obligations, and perhaps even take pride in your discipline, your productivity, your ability to follow rules. But stop for a moment and think honestly. Have you ever questioned why you do all this? Have you ever wondered who defined what is right or wrong, normal or deviant, acceptable or shameful? The truth is that you have been trained to obey since childhood, since the first bell of school, since the first punishment for bad behavior, since the first time you heard, "That is not appropriate." Michel Foucault, in Discipline and Punish, reveals something that few have the courage to admit. Modern power no longer needs chains, shouts, or public burnings. It does not impose itself with explicit violence. It infiltrates everyday life, institutions, habits, and the most mundane gestures. What was once the brutality of torture, the body being torn apart in public as a form of punishment, is now a silent, efficient, and almost invisible control. And the worst part? You call this normal life. You believe you study because you want to, work because you need to, behave because it is the right thing to do. But is it really? Or have you been conditioned to be functional, productive, adapted? The system does not want you to think, it wants you to repeat. It does not want you to question, it wants you to conform. School taught you to wait for the signal to move. Work trained you not to step out of line. The hospital controls your body. The media defines your desire. And in the midst of all this, you think you are free. Foucault calls this discipline, but not in the positive sense you learned. Discipline here is domestication. It is the training of bodies and minds to obey without resistance, to accept control without realizing they are being controlled, and more, to begin to monitor themselves. You no longer need a jailer because you have learned to punish yourself, to censor yourself, to police yourself. You have become your own watcher. This is the logic of the panopticon, a model of power in which everyone feels observed, even when no one is looking. And this is how control becomes perfect, invisible, impersonal, automatic. The fear of being watched makes you conform, even if the gaze does not exist. You do not behave because it is good. You behave because you were taught to be afraid. But here is the most important point. This is not your fault. You were born into this structure. You were shaped by it. But now, you can begin to see. This video is a call, not to give you ready-made answers, but to provoke a rupture. A rupture in the way you see yourself, the world around you, and the structures that govern your existence. You do not have to continue obeying. But first, you need to understand how power operates. And for that, we need to dive into the mind of Michel Foucault and the hidden workings of modern control. Are you ready for this? Then go ahead, because from now on, you will no longer be able to look at the world the same way. For centuries, power punished with brutality. The body of the condemned was the stage for the spectacle of punishment. Torture, mutilations, public decapitations, everything was done so that pain could be seen, felt, feared. The intention was clear: to intimidate, provoke horror, instill fear as a tool of control. Violence was not a flaw in the system. It was the system itself functioning. The crowd gathered to watch. Power displayed itself, triumphant, eliciting screams from the condemned and silent applause from the terrified audience. But something changed. Over time, this logic became unsustainable. Public violence began to generate more revulsion than respect. The figure of the executioner became confused with that of the criminal. The audience, once complicit, began to feel empathy for the punished. Power realized it needed a new strategy, a more effective, subtler, more lasting way to keep people under control without provoking revolt.